Hi guys, this is Algebra Lesson 2-1. You can find this on in your text on page 75, and you can look through the examples that are worked out there for you. A good study tip is look at an example, don't look at the answer, see if you can work it out yourself, try it. Whether or not you succeed, go back to the problem then and look and see how you did. Either get some help from the way they worked it out or get confirmed that you were right by seeing the answer. That's a great way to do that, but that's all worked out for you in the text, so you can do that yourself. There's some vocabulary worked in there. Mainly, there's a word, formula. That's a relationship between quantities, basically kind of like an equation. I thought maybe they would give you words like sum and difference and stuff like that, but they're maybe assuming that you know that, so you might have to look up some words if you don't know what they mean. We're talking about writing equations, otherwise known as translating English into math language. If you look with me on page 77, there are some problems here that are not worked out for you. The first problem says translate each sentence into an equation. 3 times r less than 15 equals 6. Some of these words we know really well. So we know that the word equals means equals. And numbers are what they are, okay? We can look at things like 3 times r. And there's a couple ways to write that, right? We could write 3 times r, but the x becomes confusing. We can put 3 and r, or we can just put 3 and r like that, or we can have a dot between it. I probably would major on this one right here. Right here, the word less than 15 doesn't mean greater than or less than. We're talking about three times r, that amount less than 15. So we're actually going to put this up front so that we can subtract it and make it this much less than 15. So you have to think, you have to read these things sometimes many times. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying 15 minus 3r equals 6. 3 times r less than 15 equals 6. Okay, let's do one more of those. The sum of q and 4 times t is equal to 29. Without writing this out, I have equal to 29. Cool, that's the easy part for me. The sum of q, so I'm going to have q plus, sum means plus, and 4 times t, 4 times t. The sum of q and 4 times t is equal to 29. And you have to read it back to yourself to see if it makes sense. Okay, if you want to take a moment and pause this, I'm going to write down the answers to the rest of these in case you want to work them yourself. All right, if you ever want more of those, we can get you more of those, but I'm going to stop there for now. Jumping to number 9, it says Samuel has $1,900 in the bank. He wishes to increase his account to a total of $2,500 by depositing $30 per week from his paycheck. Write and solve an equation to find how many weeks he needs to reach his goal. Okay, so we have $1,900 in the bank to start with, and we are going to get to equal 2,500 by depositing $30 per week. So every week we get to add $30. We're going to take the number of weeks times 30. And when we do this for a little while, it's going to equal 2,500. That's our goal. So there's my equation. And it shows how many weeks he is going to need to do this. We can solve for W to find how many weeks. All right, jump down to number 11. The perimeter of a regular pentagon, that's a 5-sided shape, is 5 times the length of each side. We're translating perimeter of a regular pentagon. So P is the perimeter of a regular pentagon, the whole thing. Is, every time you see the word is, write equals. 5 times the length of a side. 5 times the length of a side, and that's my equation. So see how we're getting there. And then there's some where you have to go from the equation back to words, and I'm not as worried about that right now. Let's look at some of your Alex problems. Translate this sentence into an equation. 48 is the sum of 12. The sum of is add 12 and Rhonda's score. And it says use the variable R. So that would do it. Translate this sentence into an equation. 2 times the sum of a number. 2 times the sum of a number. It says use the variable B for the unknown number. Sometimes you have to read ahead a little to know what variable you're going to use. 2 times the sum of a number and 8. Okay, so we have 2 times, but we've got the sum of a number and 8. The sum of a number and 8. So here's our number, sum and 8. And we want to do 2 times that. And then here's that word is. Equals 4. 2 times the sum of a number and 8 is 4. Keith sold t-shirts and hats at a festival. His total profit was $93. He made a $3 profit for each t-shirt he sold. He also made a profit of $45 from selling hats. How many t-shirts did he sell? Write an equation that could be used to answer the question above. First, choose the appropriate form, then fill in the blanks with the numbers 93, 3, and 45. Let X represent the number of t-shirts. Okay, so forgetting about the form there for just a minute, let's think about it. We have t-shirts, right? T-shirts, and we have hats, and we made $93. We know a little bit more about t-shirts. We know that we had $3 for each one. 3 times the number of t-shirts can tell me how much I made on t-shirts. And we made a profit of $45. So that's like total from selling hats. So if we multiplied $3 times the number of t-shirts plus the $45 we made on hats, we put those two things together, we'll get 93. And so I think plus is a good option. And I used a T for t-shirts down here, but 3x plus 45 will equal 93. Solve the equation in part A to find the number of t-shirts. All right, so if I want to solve this equation, well, I need to get x by itself, right? So I'm going to deal with this first. How do I get rid of plus 45? I get rid of plus 45 by subtracting it. Over here, I'm going to have 3x left over. This cancels out. 45 minus 45 is 0. And I have to do this math over here. 13 minus 5 is 8, and 8 minus 4 is 4. So 48 and 45 should be 93. I have 3x equals 48. To get rid of 3 times something, I divide, because dividing is the opposite of times. I have to do that on both sides. I'm not sure I explained that up here either. I'm not changing anything as long as I keep balanced, right, in my equation. So I can divide by 3 on both sides, get x. equals 48 divided by 3 is 16. So the answer should be 16 t-shirts. I could go back and check that by saying 16 times 3 is whatever it is, plus 45, and that should be 93. Susan bought in packs of pencils. Each pack has 10 pencils. Write an equation to represent the total number of pencils. P. There's my variable that I'm supposed to use that Susan bought. Okay, so when I buy a pack of pencils, N, each one has 10 in it. So I can multiply 10 times the number of packs that I bought, and I will know the total number of pencils. So 10N equals P. And that might be it for lesson 2-1.